Hello, this is Jayton, and I'm here today to introduce a new version of the JustRace Server Manager software, JRSM for short. We are now up to version 0.9.0.17, and this version comes with a nice feature for any community or user interested in hosting events over a home internet connection. With the improvement of internet speeds around the world, really, we have decided we should implement a feature called UPnP. This allows the software to communicate with your router that is usually between you and the internet over a home internet connection, and configure all the port forwarding rules that are needed for the various dedicated servers to work. Now, if you've got a server in a server farm somewhere out on the internet and you've got the resources to pay for that, then that's great. Then this feature is not for you because you have direct access to the internet on those servers. But when you're doing it from home on a tight budget and minimizing costs, then that is where this feature really is useful. So with UPnP, rather than having to go into your router and manually configure all those port forwarding rules, we can do it automatically within JRSM. Now, just before I move on to showing you how to enable UPnP JRSM, I'd like to show you a little feature we've added for those that do still want to manually configure their port forward rules, or maybe they don't want to enable UPnP, or maybe their router doesn't even support UPnP. So here we have a server, and it is in Australia, and I'm in the UK, so there might be a little bit of a screen lag, but we're going to go to the Assetto Corsa tab, and this new button here, List Ports. When I click that button, it'll open up a text file in a moment. Oh, it's done it for some reason off screen. Let's try and bring that on screen. No idea why it's done that. All the way over there. But there we can see there, it's opened up a list a text file which lists all the ports that are required, the individual ports, and crucially, when you're setting up manual port forwarding rules, you can usually set up ranges. So it tells us that the ports are consecutive, and so we just need to allow port 9600 to 9609 in the for TCP and UDP traffic, and we also need to allow this range here. So if you wanted to configure manual port forwarding, then we've made it as easy as possible for you to know what ports to do that with. But so enough of the manual port forwarding improvements we've made. Let's get back to UPnP and keep this video as short as possible. Okay, so on the settings tab with the new version that we've just released, you need to just click the test router UPnP capability. So let's click that now. It's going to warn us that this can take up to 10 minutes. It's usually quicker than that, and I know on this machine that it is quicker. The first thing it does is test your router's ability to support what's called lease length. So can we set a port forwarding rule to last for a certain amount of time? Then after it's done that check, it'll then check to see what the maximum number of port forwarding rules that your router will allow. Many routers limit it to quite a short number in the region of 50 or 60. And obviously with all the possible dedicated servers you can run, with JustRace, Assetto Corsa, ACC, AMS1, AMS2, Raceroom, and RF2, they can all take up a large number of ports if you are using them all. So this particular server is attached to a router. It supports an indefinite lifetime. You can see that option here, and a maximum of 64 routes, of which currently there are 2 enabled. Okay. The next thing we need to do then to actually enable it is we just check that box. But it tells us we can't do that until we've chosen a lease length. So how long do we want these leases to last? JRSM will automatically renew the leases once 50% of the time has passed. So if you set it for a day, then at half a day, at 12 hours, JRSM, if it's running, will renew that lease for you. So we recommend picking something around the day mark. That way, leases will expire after a day and not clutter up your lease table, especially if you have a limited number of routes available. So we'll set that to a day, and now we can tick this checkbox here, and it'll warn us, do we want to enable it? We go, yes, we do. So now ports 9001 and 9002, the JRSM ports, are automatically forwarded to our router, and I can do the same for AC. There we go, look. And so on through each individual tab. Oops, put the wrong button there. And so you get the idea. It's very easy now to set up the automatic port forwarding so that you can use the JustRace system over a home internet connection without having to have a detailed understanding of networking. And if you're not sure exactly how to enable UPnP and all the rest of it, we have a lovely little help button, and if we click that, it'll open up our wiki with a very detailed guide on how to enable UPnP on your router and on Windows. There we go, it's loaded after a few moments. So wiki.justrace.net, you can find those guides in there, or just click the button in JRSM. Thank you very much for watching. We're continuing to work hard as passionate sim racers ourselves on improving and developing JustRace, and we have a whole new UI for the portal, hopefully coming to more general access soon. We already have a few selected communities using it, and this brings a number of really interesting improvements, but I'm not going to talk about those in detail today. But yes, we are working hard behind the scenes, improving and developing more and more features for your communities and you as drivers. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.